doing this nut slot by hand is tedious, and I'm going to have to get a file in there and scrape flat. So I thought I'd try something. I recently picked up a plunge router attachment for a Dremel, and I thought if I can make a sled for it, or somewhere where it stays, I can make this work. So, I've got my neck, well, almost level. I'll get that tweaked. We'll get everything clamped down so that we can make a nice flat slot. Let's fix that first. So here's the idea. My two pieces of wood are clamped down. My neck is clamped down. My neck is pretty level. And we're going to use this very tiny bit so I can take off a little bit at a time to make that nut slot to fit my 7-string Graph Tech Black Tusk XL nut. Okay, I changed it up a little bit. Put a piece of wood here to act as a guide so I can't go there. If I end up going this way too far and messing up that part, well, whatever, but I don't want to go into the actual fretboard. So this should let me kind of go left and right. It might work a little better. Okay, we're getting there. It's got a nice flat bottom. I want it to be tight. As long as I'm not going too far into the neck, or as long as I'm not going in the neck, we're good. Good. I didn't want it to be fitting yet. That way it allows me to have a little bit more wiggle room for what I can get rid of. But we're getting close. We'll figure out the depth later, but I just want it nice and flat. So I just made this. I had to redo it from my previous one. This is going to allow me to figure out where on my guitar body are my pickups going. This line down here is going to represent my bridge, just so I can trace and line it up. So my pickup rings, they're not going to be this, but these are just placeholders for now. Those are going to be about here. Next one's going to be going about there. A little bit of the wood's going to be getting cut off from the actual neck itself. But I need to route those pockets for all this to go on. I've already prepped my tape. I just have to glue it down, line it up as best I can, and then I can go ahead and route those out. Not this, just those two. Now my neck's not glued in. I can still take it out, but I'm going to leave it in just for this so that I have a bit more of a visual for where I'm going to be lining it up. I need to get rid of that much material. I don't need to go all the way, but it is going to need a certain amount of depth for that. The wires from there will eventually be going through this, down to the rest of the body. So something here. There, so I went deep enough that I'll still be able to add all my wires into that channel. They'll be able to feed through, and I did this side just a little bit more. Didn't need to do the whole thing. I mean, I could. It might look cooler. Yeah, sure, I'll do the whole thing. Okay, I went all the way down there. So that's going to give me a nice surface for this. Now, before I take off this thing, let's add a couple little pencil marks here. That's my rough bridge line. I'll still measure correctly with, you know, big ruler with the neck on. Let's see what this thing looks like when I take it off. So just for fun, let's see what that looks like. Tuck those in there. There's nothing holding these up, so they're gonna fall a little bit. That's all right. Just would look kind of neat. Now this is still too high. I'm gonna have to get rid of a little bit of this neck material so that the humbucker ring or pickup ring can go nice and flush against that. How much am I gonna have to get rid of? A little bit. Get by it. So when I finally make my pickup rings, they're going to go flush up against the bottom of the neck. Right about there. Sweet. That'll be sitting probably about that high when it's all done. Now, I already know it's going to be hard for me to get my whole hand in here and grab at these higher frets. So I'm thinking about that point. Not cut it completely away, but do a bit of an angle, like a cove here. I can do that by hand, probably about that far. I can do the same thing on the other side by just a touch. Still kind of maintaining that shape. But I want that to be kind of curved up in here. That's going to just be more comfortable for my hands. And that way I can also still see the cool little line of purple heart that I have on my neck here coming up. Yeah, this is going to look neat. I think I'm going to get rid of that much from the neck as well and kind of use a file and just angle it down so it's going to be easier to feed my wires through. It's all going to get covered anyways, and that shouldn't be, it's not going to get glued to anything, so there's no strength loss there. It's for the tone.